Hey buddy, this is Collin, Mr. Old School Gamer, bringing you another clip from the wonderful world of Warships. Well, today I will bring you a clip from the Tier 9 Japanese destroyer, the Yugumo. And as you may hear, I still rocking my man cold from hell, so that is why my voice sound a bit weird. So the Tier 9 Yugumo is, as I said before, one of my absolute favorite ships in the game. And that is because it has really low detection of 5.5 kilometers. It's pretty fast and limble and pretty decent guns if you want to set some additional fires to battleships that you have struck with your torps. And you have the torpedo reload booster. That is absolutely one of the favorite things for me in some of the ships in this game. And that is of course the ability to stack flooding damage upon flooding damage, which means that you will send out your first 2 salvos of torps, you will hit some battleships, making them flood, making them burn their damage con, and then you use your torpedo reload booster and send another spread of torpedoes, hitting the battleships again and making them perma-flood, which means flooding the whole duration, which usually means that you will drain them from all their HP and kill them off, resulting of course in pretty high damage numbers. Now, I do want to point out that this game is not one of my monster games that I showcased on this channel before. Before I had the games like 240, 250k damage and 5-6 kills. So this game is not one of those games, but I thought this was pretty awesome as well. This was a pretty hard uphill struggle the whole entire game. It was pretty even game during the whole match, and a pretty epic ending. So this was a real nail biter. Now I push the A flank, which I usually do in a destroyer on this map. I usually don't want to go inside the A cap because usually you will just end up in a Mexican standoff pretty much against another destroyer, and then a couple of Des Moines or Worcester will spot you with radar and just blap you. So usually I like to pretty much go on this flank, try to spot the enemy team, and usually shoot off my torps into that parking lot, as you can see north of A, right here, where usually all the battleships and radar cruisers park. So I usually go up on this flank and then shoot my torps this way. And then when they have moved, I can pretty much go in and secure the A cap. But this time we actually came across a couple of enemy ships pushing this flank. So it's time for me to fall back a bit and send my torps toward them instead. I send a couple towards this Bismarck, and it seems like they are pretty good. Yeah. I bagged my first kill with a devastating strike. Now, if you want to talk a bit more about this ship, pretty much the only drawback this ship has, in my opinion, is that compared to ships like the premium Asashio, this ship doesn't have a smoke screen. You have to choose between torpedo reload and smoke screen. And you should never ever ever choose smoke screen over the torp reload. Because then you will turn a real monster of a ship into a meh. And I think, I mean, that small drawback in not having a smoke screen on this ship isn't really a drawback, because I think that in this radar heavy meta with all those new US light cruisers, Warships and all the others, it's really dangerous to learn to be dependent on a smoke screen. And I mean, smoke screens are pretty much a false protection, because you sit there and you think you're safe, and suddenly a whole bunch of torpedoes will pop up, or a Worcester will pop up at 7 kilometers, popping his almost 50-second radar and then just blap you. So I actually like that this ship doesn't have a smoke screen, because it makes me think and play this ship in a different way than I probably should have if I had the opportunity to use a smoke screen. So this forces me pretty much to play more smartly with this ship. Now, me and this Bismarck are pushing, and it can seem a bit aggressive, especially in his case, but since I have such great detection, I outspot all the other destroyers on this team. So for my sake, it's not that big of a deal to try and push this enemy destroyer out of the B cap. Now we do have this problem with the Kurfürst that is pretty much doing the same mistake as our Bismarck, which is he is really pushing hard into a potential crossfire situation, and he is over. He has really bad positioning, pretty much, because he can get crossfired from the ships at the C cap. He should think that our destroyer is pretty near, because we capped the A cap, and of course he has all those ships in the A cap that is shooting him as well. So he has overextended quite a lot. Now I did get spotted by the Kurfürst sonar, so I do need to try and get out of his sonar range, which is pretty much 6 kilometers. I use my torpedo reload booster at this point, because I feel like he really doesn't have any other option than to push forward in front of this island, and then his Hydra can pretty much not help him. And we are trying to get some extra additional fires on him with our guns as well. We do land a torp hit, but he has damage con currently active, so it doesn't result in a flood this time around. But as you can see, some of the cruisers, maybe the Khabarovsk at the A cap, managed to set a fire on him again. So he now has to deal with at least one perma fire, taking the full duration. Now the Akatsuki is pushing towards the B cap, but since I have almost 600 meters on him, detection wise, I thought I'd be able to try and contest the B cap anyways. The Kurfürst is trying to get out of harm's way and trying to heal back his health pool. So I feel like I really need to try and land some more torps on him to finish him off. Because at this time we have cap advantage, but the team leads, the enemy team leads with 2 ships. And now it's only 1 ship advantage they have. So if I am able to secure the B cap as well, of course that will be an even greater advantage for us. What I can tell from the last marked position on the minimap, it looks like those destroyers were heading the other way. Which means that I should probably have time to flip this cap in our advantage as well. We do have this tier 9 Fredrik de Grosse pushing in, which is also kind of a mistake, because he also puts himself into a potential crossfire situation. I do have my Shimakase buddy on my team right beside me, so we are of course 2 destroyers being able to attack this German battleship. Now you see I use 1 narrow spread of torps and 1 wide spread, and that is to just mix it up a little bit because German battleships of course run the German Hydro. Sorry. Which means it usually can be quite tough to land torps. But the team managed to burn him down before the torps had the chance to strike him. I beg you guys pardon. Now we're still down 1 ship. The enemy team managed to sink 1 ship for every ship we sink. So this is still a pretty tight game that can go in both directions. We have a pretty healthy Grossovoy starting to flip the C cap, and the Grossovoy isn't really a ship that I want to push, because of course he has those great Russian rail guns. Also he has good torps and a heal, so he's not really as tanky and as dangerous as his DD brother, the Khabarovsk, but he is still a big threat. Now I do have this Honori, the French tier 10 cruiser, pushing alongside the C cap, and I also see 2 enemy battleships closing in on the Khabarovsk at our A cap. So I do feel like I probably need to push in either way to try and secure the C cap again, because I think the enemy team will probably be able to push the Khabarovsk out of the A cap, and then the Akizuki could probably go inside and cap the A cap. So we really need the C cap. Now, as you saw, the Iowa was spotted, looks like heading towards the B cap, so I sent some preemptive torps in that small gap towards the B cap, but I hold on to 1 torp salvo because I don't really know if it's gonna turn and maybe go into the C cap instead. So I launch my second set into the other gap that he could possibly enter the C cap from. But right now I have bigger fish to fry. I saw enemy Seattle, one of the, of course, very feared US light cruisers with the extreme radar pushing the sea cap. So I'm guesstimating he's gonna pop his radar pretty soon. So I try to position behind this island so I can't get blapped, and of course I will be able to secure the sea cap without getting reset, and hope that the Henry on my team will be able to keep him off me as long as possible. The problem is that the Seattle player is from a pretty high tier clan, Rice, and our Henri, who has played really great this entire game, is on really low health. So I really appreciate this Henri making this play and pretty much risking his own health and ship to help me and this Shimakase to secure the cap for our team. But we are 3 versus 1, so we should be able to take this guy out. We do a pretty coordinated push, I would say. At least half decent. The Seattle managed to kill off the Henri, but he can't really take on 5 different torpedo salvos. That's torpedo beats that no one can manage. During this time, which of course both the Seattle and Henri player made a really good play for their respective teams, the red team has actually managed to secure both the B and A cap, which is a huge problem because we are 2 ships against 4 and only 1 cap. So I'm starting to grind the 9 numbers in my head right now and starting to wonder if this is possible, if we can just flee, go dark and still be able to win this game. We have 3 minutes left on the clock. We have about 400 points lead. This is gonna be tight. But the enemy Grossovoy pushes me. And I feel like I need to try and at least force him away so he can't go right inside the sea cap and start to contest it. So I'm trying to position myself with the island between me and the Iowa and try to shoot the Grossovoy for as long as possible without dying, of course. Now I did get lucky with my torps and I managed to kill off the Grossovoy. So now I'm pretty sure that we are able to just go dark and win this game without contesting the B cap, but I'm still a bit unsure, so I have to check with my teammates. And they pretty much give me the thumbs up that it should be possible to just run away and still be able to win this game, even if they manage to push and stop the tickets at the C cap. So my point here is pretty much to just go north, go dark, and just stay away from the enemy team for the rest of the match and win by points. But of course I see this enemy St. Louis pushing for the C cap, and I think, hey, I got my torps up. I might as well send some torps his way. I know he's 14 kilometers away and my torps are only 12 kilometers, but since he is closing that distance very fast, being a French cruiser, well, it's not totally impossible. So I tell my Shimakase buddy where my radio location is pointing, so he doesn't accidentally run into the enemy Akizuki, because we really need to stay alive the last couple of seconds of this game. But it sure looks like a win. Or? And these torps actually look pretty good. 10 seconds left. Five seconds left. And a kill. So, all in all, a pretty decent game. 135,000 damage done. 3 caps taken, 4 kills, and 1 fire. And made number 1 in the match, which is always nice, at almost 2,500 base experience. And as you can see, the majority of the damage, as usual, comes from those great torpedoes on this ship. But also 20k in shell damage from the guns. And of course tanking over 1 million potential damage in a destroyer with 15,000 health points. Well, that's always good for the team. And I got out of the game with some nice credits and experience earned. So this was Yugumo pulling off that Hail Mary. And I hope you liked this video. Please leave it a like and a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for some more amazing gameplay from the drunken Swedish Viking. Until next time guys, have a good one. Bye bye.